Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Not a Sheep. This is episode number 2. I'm joined by my buddy Matt.
What's up?
And our friend Kazmyn.
Hi.
So this is exciting. This is our first ever guest appearance. This is our first 3-person podcast. So we're going to see how it goes. You know, we're going to be learning as we go. But yeah, so Kazmyn has been you've been a friend of Matt's for a while, right?
Yeah, I don't even, how many years?
A few years,
like,
I don't know.
A few, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Kazmyn, tell the people what you do. What are you into? How would you describe yourself as an artist?
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Kazmyn. I am a singer, songwriter. My music is a little bit folky, and I sing pop music, but I prefer to do it with just a guitar or piano, so it's mostly acoustic, which leans more towards the folky type. And I play at cafes and different small venues. And I'm hoping to get to the bigger venues eventually. But, you know, we just keep dreaming.
What's it like playing at cafes? Like, what do you do? Like,
well, I know there's open mics in Seattle, and I'm really thankful that there's a lot of different like places to play. I haven't gone to a lot of them. They're mostly 21 and over, I think. But for different cafes, it's not like places are advertising like, come and play here. We really need people. We really need musicians. It's rather like, if you want to do it, you need to go, you need to ask them, you need to email them. And I don't necessarily like want to do that or enjoy doing it, but I need to do that to get gigs. And I've gotten a few doing that, and I should be doing more of it coming out of like quarantine. So I'm hoping for that.
Do you ever get to do like your original stuff when you perform there? Or do they make you it's all your original stuff?
Mostly it is, but when I first started like a year ago gigging, I only had like 1 or 2 songs. So I was doing one of mine and then like 6 covers, which it's not great when you're trying to get your name out there to just do a bunch of cover songs, obviously. So it's grown, but now I have like 5 or 6 songs I do a gig. And after all of this extra time, I have like 12. So I'm going to have to figure out which ones I want to, release and which ones I still need to work on.
Wait, you have 12 songs done?
Yeah, I mean, some of them need a little bit of work, but I'm trying my best.
Hey, that's dope.
That's awesome. Well, before we dive deeper into like your music history, we like to start every show. Well, I mean, there's only been one show, but we're gonna make it a trend to start our shows by talking about what we've been listening to recently. So, Matt, what's been on your playlist the last week or so?
So recently, I've been listening to a lot of like No Big Deal. Just dropped a new song called Parabolic. A lot of random like Pink Sweats.
Dude, you've been talking about him
Pink
a lot.
Sweats,
Is
bro.
it a
So
band
dope.
or just one guy?
He's just one guy. He's like a singer-songwriter.
He's kind of like Khalid, right?
Yeah. I'd say
Okay.
like less like poppy, I guess, because a lot of his stuff is more like stripped down, just like him singing over guitar.
Yeah.
But he's super dope. A little bit of like Drake, randomly enough, and like still listening to the What's Poppin' remix.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, John?
Okay. Is this weird? I don't have multiple playlists. I have literally one playlist ever.
Really?
You just like songs that because that's what I do.
I
don't really use playlists
so
that much.
I don't even like the songs on the apps. I literally just have a playlist called Favorite Songs, and I've just added to it for like 3 years. So every time I
Really?
want to listen to the newest songs, I have to scroll through like 900 songs.
Do you like shuffle that whole thing ever? Or
Sometimes, but I usually just listen to the newest stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But like I don't have specific workout playlists and then like chill playlists. But I've been listening to Levi Hinson.
Oh,
who
yep.
you told me about, who's pretty unknown, I'd say.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about him later in the episode, but he dropped an EP. Kanye's new song. I don't know. Do you like it?
The one with Travis Scott?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. He also has another one like featuring on Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah.
And I thought that one was pretty cool too. But
Yeah, for
a lot of Kanye this week.
Yeah, and then Jack Harlow. I found this guy named Rents and then this other guy named Vori. I don't know who they are. I just find some randoms. I actually like when my playlist ends and then it'll start playing random songs.
Oh, okay.
Because that's how I find a lot of my artists that I like. But,
That's dope.
Kazmyn, what about you? What do you listen to? What are you into?
Okay, well, although I play like folky music, I listen to all different kinds, and thankfully, like because of experiences that I've been in that we'll talk about later, I've gotten the opportunity to meet a lot of different artists, and so my friends everybody's been working on music who are musicians, hopefully during this time.
Yeah.
And some of them have come out with music, and I've just been listening to them. They're all different genres, but my friend Jeremiah just came out with the song Jeremiah Zumaya.
Wait, oh, I was like, the Jeremiah?
I was like,
I don't even know who that one is, but
Okay.
I don't listen to like super popular music, and I don't listen to the radio, but I know the TikTok songs, so
Yeah.
that's enough.
That's cool though, because you can be that friend where people like hop in the car with you and you're always going to give them
Always
something
have
they've never
something
heard
new.
of.
I
Yeah.
know. That's what I like, but I'm also super insecure about people listening to my music, and like I want them to have a good time in my car, and I don't ever want to take the aux.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'll never play my songs, but also like my own music, but I also don't know what to play in the car. But
Yeah.
regardless, other people, there's this guy I've talked to online a little bit, and then he released this song. His name's Ryan Woods, and it's called Bad Texter. It's just like a little poppy song, kind of like the bands Laney and I don't know, 1975 maybe.
That's dope.
And then there's this guy that I really like, and I've seen him play. And you guys, I don't know if you would like folk music like that. I've never really talked to you about it.
I don't really listen to a lot of folk music.
I
But
don't know. Like,
Are we talking about who's like what's the most famous, what's that band?
bro, I don't know.
Like the mega famous
Mumford
one.
and Sons.
Yeah. Like, see, that's really the only extent of that type of music that I've listened to is Mumford and Sons. But like, I've really never dived into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mumford and Sons, but I kind of listen to like sadder folk music. So there's this guy named Gregory Alan Isakov. If people like folk music, you probably know who he is.
Yeah.
But and he doesn't have any like new music, but I've been listening to that because I've just been driving around a lot, as I assume everybody has, to try and waste time.
Yeah.
So I just pretend I'm in a movie. So that's it basically.
Do you feel creative when you're driving around? Like, do you think of like lines or like
That's a good
songs when you're
question.
driving?
Yeah, I my boyfriend lives far away, and I drive home like late at night from his house, and I just turn on my recorder sometimes and just sing like whatever I'm thinking.
Oh.
Just because, I don't
Like
think there's a
freestyle?
better time. Yeah, I
That's dope.
freestyle, and then I never show it to anyone. No, but yeah, I think so. What about you?
I mean, I do. That's not like the recording thing, but like I drive around for inspiration like all the time, especially at like night, just to like, I don't know. Sometimes it's good to get out of the house and like play whatever you want to listen to and just kind of have some alone time. But yeah.
Do you guys feel like, well, Kazmyn, where's your go-to creative space? Do you have like, is it in your room, or like, do you have like a separate area you like to like practice or record?
I do mostly play in my room, which
Okay.
is funny because like my house has the thinnest walls, and my family, they don't really complain about me playing in there because I've improved so much. But like
you don't
years
suck.
ago, my siblings are like my biggest critics, so they're just like, "Shut up, Kazmyn," blah blah blah, whatever. But I usually write in there, even though I can hear everybody stomping upstairs, or I go outside into my yard, just because
okay.
I like being in nature and listening to my like pond. We have a little waterfall in it, and I'm like, this is really it. This is like the folk space, the ultimate space. And then but I don't always write one song either in that time. I just write bits and pieces.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to a band called Rainbow Kitten Surprise?
No.
Okay.
What is
I don't
that?
know. Okay.
What is this,
guys? They're called a Rainbow Kitten
No.
Surprise. They're pretty famous. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard of
Maybe
them.
I've heard like one song.
Rainbow Kitten Surprise is like the ultimate summer music for me.
Okay.
I don't know. I have like at certain times of year, I listen to certain types of music, and when you said like you go outside,
Yeah.
if it's remotely sunny outside and it's summer, I'm playing Rainbow Kitten Surprise all the time. So
Who came
check
up
'em
with
out.
that? Who would stick with that name? They must be strong. I'm gonna have to listen to them,
Yeah,
honestly.
we just wanted to dive in. We just have a bunch of questions for you.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
So we're just gonna dive in here and just see how long it goes. But
Okay.
before we talk about music, I have to ask. I noticed when we started this group chat to ask you to come on the show,
Oh.
you're one of the no capital girls. You don't capitalize your text, and I need to know the reasoning.
Understand this.
I don't understand.
Oh, okay. So, I don't really know when this started, but a lot of this is so embarrassing, but a lot of the like boys that I like have talked to, I guess, or whatever. Like, if you're cool, you don't use capitals, and they just wouldn't. And so
We're
I
not
was
cool,
like,
John.
I don't
Wait,
know.
what?
Sorry, guys.
Wait,
I'm
did
so
they?
sorry.
So they told you this, or it was
they
just
didn't tell
implied?
me. But I think I even brought it up before, like, to my now boyfriend, but probably sometime. I'm like, how do you get your phone to do that? I was like, my phone automatically puts capitals, and I don't care. And also, I've talked to people where I have to be professional now, like over text, and I have to make sure I go back and stuff because I just don't do it. That's, you guys, you pay attention. But no, it's just a little thing. And I don't know, famous people do it.
Yeah, there's a certain vibe of person.
It's like aesthetic,
that
I
does
guess.
it. Like, I can tell a lot about a person just from texting them.
Yeah.
And so when I was like, oh, you want to be on the show? And then the first one was like, but it was the lowercase I was like, oh my God.
I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.
No, it's not bad. It's just so funny because like,
She's one of them.
Yeah, she's one of them.
Jeez, I'm not one of them.
But yeah, so Kazmyn, you were on American Idol.
I was.
You wanna let's just start
you may not
with
know
that.
this.
You want to tell me all about it because I don't really know any of
We
the
don't know how the
story.
process works.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so American Idol. It's a show that I've watched. Obviously, you guys know that much. I've watched it since I was really small, and also like America's Got Talent and stuff like that. And I know that show's not tailored towards singers, and I don't have a lot of other really great skills that people would want to watch on stage. So I was like, not that one for me.
Can't
but
juggle.
No, not yet. But yeah, we watched it, and when I was really little, I would always like talk about wanting to be a singer, wanting to be like, I guess, a pop star, a rock star, whatever. And then that idea kind of died down, I think, when I was like in middle school and beginning in high school, just because I was at the age where I was seeing people on the shows, like auditioning sometimes, or just I was seeing a lot of people online blow up. And part of the reason they blew up and everybody thought it was so great was because they were so young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really have the drive right now or the ability, like with the guitar or the piano, to really be on TV, even though my friends and family were like, oh, you're so great, you're going to do such great things. So it kind of died down. And I know this is just everything you guys wanted to hear, but
No, it's good.
it gets better. But I did a few talent shows in high school and all that stuff. And I was like,
Did you win?
They were like, you know how talent shows stopped having winners and they're more
Yeah.
about everybody.
Oh.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But I'm trying to remember when I initially learned that American Idol was going to be having their auditions in like Seattle. But I watched the first season. There's like 20 seasons of American Idol or something. I forget which one I was technically in, but they restarted it. So the mean judge that everyone knows, like Simon Cowell, you know,
Yeah.
he wasn't on it. He didn't own it anymore. And 3 new judges came on, and it was Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie, who I didn't really know that much about, but now I know lots of things about him. And I took history of rock and roll, so I know he's a big deal. But they were the judges for the season before mine, and I watched it. I actually watched it all on YouTube. I didn't even watch the show on TV, so I wasn't seeing the whole picture. But I was like, this seems way more real. Like, this seems like something I could do, and the people who are making it further are just being themselves. I was like, this is perfect because I feel...
It doesn't seem like fake reality TV as much.
Yeah. It was just a breath of fresh air, and I really wanted to meet the people that were on that season. I didn't know that they did like a tour, but I learned that pretty soon after. So fast forward a few months after their season or whatever, and they had a tour. They came to the Puyallup Fair or something, and my dad surprised me with tickets to go there because they're kind of expensive, even though the people, they're not like a super duper big deal, you know?
Yeah. Wait. Sorry. Tickets to go... Like, are the tickets separate to like audition? Wait. These are just for the auditions.
So before the auditions, this is summer.
Okay.
And
it's the people from the previous season?
Yeah, like the top 7, they go on tour.
Oh, okay, I'm following.
Yeah, and they perform like songs that they did on the show, and like sometimes they're originals because you get to a certain point and you have to make your own originals on the show, and they produce it for you and all of that. So there was just a few people that I thought were super duper genuine and cool, and even the person who won. So I was like, it would just be really great to see them. I ended up getting a ticket where I got to meet them and talk to them a little bit. And at this point, I knew that American Idol was going to be coming with the auditions at the end of the summer. So I went up to them and I was like, oh, I've been thinking about maybe auditioning. And they were like, oh, like, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Kazmyn. And they're like, that sounds like a celebrity's name. And
it does. Yeah. It actually does.
I was like, I don't know about that. But I met them and they had a big impression on me, and I loved how they performed, and everybody was just, they weren't trying to be anybody, like, you know, and I stayed after, and I met this girl, her name's Katie Turner, and she was somewhere in the top 7. And she was probably like the most genuine, and I remember her the most just on the show for how she was dressing and what she was saying, and she just wasn't afraid to be herself, and that's what I've been trying to do with my whole music career. So I think I told her I wanted to audition, and then she was like, okay, well, you need to sing for me so I can see, like, you know, how good you are. And
like right there on the spot?
Yeah. Dang. She was behind a fence and they were about to go in their tour bus, like, you know, like it's a big deal. And so I was trying to think, like, what song do I know? What song? And the only song that came to my head was Reckless Love.
Oh, really?
Which is like a song we sing at church every Sunday, like then. Mm-hmm. So I belted it out, and all these girls around me that were like obsessed with Katie, they were like looking at me and like filming me and stuff.
Oh.
Like I was like, what's going on?
Right, let's go.
And anyways, long story short, she followed me and ended up like sending one of my videos to a producer of American Idol.
Oh, you got the in.
Yeah, I know. I felt like I was on cloud 9 when I figured that she did that, when I figured it out.
Wait, did you crush it when you sang in front of her? Was it amazing?
It was not the best song to show my vocals, but also like it was probably one of the most like shaky free moments I've had, just because I'm like, this is my last chance. And my brain was like, you have to do this, Kazmyn. And
so, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you go for it.
Do you feel like, are you someone who thrives under pressure when it's like a big moment? Do you feel like you perform better? Because it seems like, at least with a lot of music artists, they live for that type of moment where it's like everything's on the line. At least it feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it seems like music artists generally aren't the type of people that will like freak out when that type of situation comes up.
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50. It's just like with every new thing, if I was playing guitar for the first time, I'm going to choke up no matter how many times I've practiced, like in front of people I'm going to. If I'm, you know, singing a different song, but I've known that song for so long. I think I chose the right one and it was the right moment, but typically I do choke up and it is not cute, and I do it at every talent show, and you know what? I find ways to redeem myself before like a performance or a song is over. That's what I always try and do. I'm like, they're not going to remember the middle where I actually stopped and restarted. No, they're just going to remember this really great ending.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
Has that happened where you've like had to like stop?
I think Matt was at one of my gigs, like it's in a cafe I've performed at a few times, but I like was playing the guitar and I knew it sounded bad because it was plugged in and my nails were just scraping across the strings, and I realized like, no, this is just not it. And then I was like, okay guys, I'm actually gonna restart again. And I felt so bad because it just happens and you have to be in a space where you're comfortable actually doing that.
Yeah.
But regardless, I have.
Okay.
But
so she films you, or the other people film you. She follows you and sends your video to the producers. Mm-hmm. Do they reach out to you, or how did it work?
So it's been a while, but I'm just gonna piece together what I can remember. She sent the producer my song, and there's a lot of different people who work. It was not necessarily producer, more like a recruiter for the show, and they have a ton of them. Mm-hmm. And so they sometimes can get people in where they get to skip the entire first open call where like thousands of people can come.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but actually thankfully for me in the end, I did not get that opportunity. So I met a lot of people just in that open call, so that's why I say that. But I talked about it with one of my friends named Meg, and we talked about auditioning together, and we were really just excited about the idea. And then when this happened, I was like, this is great. I have somebody who's going to be on my side. His name was Ryan, the producer. This is kind of irrelevant, but also relevant.
Okay.
Anyways, so I ended up just going to the open call. It was at like 4 a.m. we got there just so that we could be in like a line. I think it was like more like 3:30, but
dang.
How long did you wait before you sang?
Till 8 or 9 we finally got in, and then I didn't even sing till like
Okay.
10 or
Is
11.
everyone in line like
Sorry,
singing
guys.
and trying to like get warmed up and stuff?
Yes.
Is it kind of like a weird vibe going on?
Wait, have you watched The Office?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yes,
say.
Is it
I
like
have.
at the end where he goes to the America's Acapella contest or whatever?
Yeah.
It's literally like that?
Yeah, it's like
Pretty crazy.
it is just the most overwhelming thing like I've probably ever experienced. But basically got up really early. I just practiced a few days before that. That's kind of what I did the entire competition. Like it's just weird to even say that, but I didn't want to over practice because I'm not very good at keeping like my voice healthy. So I was like, or my throat healthy. So I'm like, let's just practice a little bit. But when I got there, I was definitely like, maybe I should have practiced a little bit more. And I had a ukulele and hundreds of other people in front of me had ukuleles. And I was like, this is not a good sign.
Why so many people got ukuleles? Is that just a common
It's just
thing?
a thing. It's so easy to learn, I think.
Oh.
I don't want to say that to anyone out there who is having difficulties, you can
You're
get there.
stupid.
I don't even remember it. I haven't played it in like 6 months, and I don't even remember a chord. But at that point, I was like, this is great. I'll audition for American Idol with the 3 chords I know on the ukulele.
Yeah.
So it was, a few hours in line, which, I mean, every single part was kind of a big deal, and I remember different things from them. But like this part was big because there was people from different news like channels, I guess, coming and videoing people. And there was a kid like 50 people up from me that had a ukulele as well. And a reporter stopped at him, and he was like, oh, like, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. Play me a song. And the kid did it, and he sounded pretty good. But I was like super salty. And I'm like, I think I should be on that. Like, this
Isn't
is
that
really
exactly
gonna help
like
me.
in The Office? The news reporters start coming and they're like, no, we got to get attention.
Yeah.
And so he
I think I
dresses up like an
remember
old guy.
Yeah. If you looked, like, everybody was trying to look different. So it was hard to stand out to people like that. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like it is almost not necessarily just about how good of a singer you are, but if you have the right personality to fit the show and like what they want for like viewership and stuff? Do you feel like that's part of it?
I mean, not from the first get-go, because the first auditions that day, the open calls, they're like, you have, I don't know, 30 seconds or something to sing a song, and they choose right off the bat. Just these recruiting producer people.
Yeah.
They just choose whether you're going to make it or not. And I didn't see anybody fight for a second chance, which, like, I guess I'll get to. But I was like, why isn't anybody fighting to go through? Because, like, basically they were giving out these little, like, yellow papers. This wasn't the part where you'd get a golden ticket or whatever, but I guess that counted as the golden ticket. And nobody in, like, Seattle was getting one. And so there was like 1 or 2 people before me that I saw receive one, and everybody in the entire like room, I forget where we were, but it was a big like theater-ish room.
Yeah.
Everybody would look and like cheer for the person and whatever. And so there was a lot of pressure because also like 30 other people were singing at the same time as you at different tables and stuff.
Yeah. So when you're singing, can you hear like other people sing it? Like it's not an isolated space?
Just the open call.
Yeah.
So, and a few other auditions after that, but not the actual ones.
How many different auditions? So there's the main one. Did you do well at that first one, the very first one?
At the open call.
Yeah. Did you do well?
I think it's a funny story for me. And just, I mean, so I auditioned finally, after waiting in line for hours and whatever. And I auditioned in front of this lady named Tammy, And I remember her because she's like the only person who really, really like, she gave me a second chance. I was like, yes, Tammy, you're awesome. Now I follow her on Instagram. And anyway,
Shout out to Tammy.
Shout out to Tammy.
Really, shout out Tammy B. But I think I sang a John Legend song or something, and I was like shaking, and my ukulele didn't sound great. And I was also like 5 feet away from her, 5 or 6 feet. So it was like, you can't even hear really, you know, like, so she probably is basing it off what you look like and all that stuff. And I don't really necessarily stand out like 100% from everybody, but I was a good distance away from her to where she was basing it off my appearance and my singing, and probably not my singing to a great extent. So after I did my little 30-second like audition, she talked with the girl next to her, and then they were like, oh, we're sorry, like you're not what we're looking for, but we hope like there's good things for you.
Dang.
And I went up to her and I was like, you know, I really, really like care about and want this opportunity. And it's weird because I met Katie Turner, and I also talked to her about like, music a lot. And I sang to her, and I also know this other producer named Ryan, and she was like, actually, how about you just like sing one more time?
Oh, so you tried to use it like I know Ryan. Okay, so if you don't let me try again, there's gonna be issues.
I was like, please, like look at my dad over there, and he's just like standing with his camera, like filming it.
Excited.
You don't want to upset him. And she was like, okay, you got another shot. And then I started like crying, and she's like, take 5 minutes and then come back. I was like, there's lines like going back like 30 people in every single like area, and there's other people choosing who goes into the line. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get back in line. Whatever. Pulled out of the line, went to talk to my dad. He's like, what just happened? I'm like, Dad, like she's giving me another chance. I don't know right now, like blah blah blah. He's been my wingman through all of this. He's like, he knows the songs that make my voice sound good. Oh. So he just told me, this is what you're doing. Give me a hug. It's gonna be okay. And I was like, okay. This is my one chance. And I went back, and I just got in line, and all these people were like, what is she doing? Like they all clearly saw me walk away, and I was like, I'm really sorry, I have to get back in line, like I'm getting another chance. And I feel so like bad about it, but also this is it. And I think I sang like a Vance Joy song, like Riptide. It might have been Riptide, I don't know if it was, regardless. And she was like, you know what, I'm going to give this to you. And she like wrote down something and gave me the golden paper, and everybody looked around, and I was like, yes.
That's so
like,
awesome.
Wait, so you went from getting rejected to getting the golden paper.
Yes.
Is the golden paper, that's like where you get to
on.
skip like some of the other auditions? Or what did that paper mean?
The paper just meant that I was going to go up. I didn't know this, but it meant I went up to another level of like the building we were in, and I had another audition with another producer that day. Mm-hmm. And only like 10 to 15 people from Seattle got the golden ticket or whatever. That's not the golden ticket, but so there was like 3 auditions that day, and one of them was just a video that they took like of multiple songs you sang, and then they sent it over to bigger producers in LA, and they would call you in a few days if you made it to the next round. So there was a lot of steps, and I got out at like 6 p.m. and I was there since 3 a.m. or whatever.
Dang.
It was crazy, and people were there way longer, and it was hard to see a lot of upset faces, and just, there were some people who I heard sing who I thought were good, and then they just they got sent home, like, and they didn't try. I mean, maybe to get a second chance, but also like, who knew that was an opportunity? I was just like, I don't want to upset my dad. I gotta like try again.
He drove me here at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
give it
like,
a shot.
That's worth something. But so that was the first day.
Okay, so now let's fast forward a little bit.
Yes.
To where like, when do the auditions sort of end where you're like actually on the show?
Yeah, like when are you considered like really on the show? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so after that day, they call you or not.
Okay.
But they called me the next day, and they were like, the producers already saw your auditions, and they like them, and you're going to be going to the next step, which I had already planned with them at the end of the first audition day. It was really weird. They wanted to plan, like, if you make it to the next round, let's plan your trip to Denver was mine. So then I ended up going to Denver, had another producer's round. And then I made it, which I was like, thank God. Like, they did not pay for that trip.
Yeah.
And it was just a cool experience, but I kind of wanted to go home, like telling people that I made it.
Yeah.
After that, they said, like, a month from now, you'll be auditioning in front of the judges. And then I knew I was going to be.
Oh, so then it's the real auditions.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you audition in front of the real judges.
Yes.
What did you sing then?
I sang a few different songs to them. One of them was Scars to My Beautiful by Alessia Cara, which is like the one that I talk about with everyone because it was the last one and the one that they said yes to because of the song, I guess.
Oh, so you sang 3 and they didn't say yes until the last one? Or do they always just wait?
Oh, okay.
So it's funny because they can piece together an episode so well. So like most of the people that are actually on the show where they show their first audition with the judges, like that might be the 3rd song that they sang, the 2nd or the 1st or the 5th, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they make it look like the 1st.
Yeah.
But you go in there for like 15 minutes and they cut out a ton.
How nervous are you in there?
Yeah, were you shaking?
You know, it's funny because like usually I am super nervous, and at my own gigs, like I'm super duper nervous. But just like when I was in front of Katie, like it was just a moment. I don't even remember really everything that happened, but I knew that I deserved to be at that point because the producers rounds before were so exhausting, and they really tested, everything about being an artist, like singing amidst tons of people and seeing all these people that look like you or sing like you and talk like you. And I just knew that I was meant to be there. So when I walked in, of course I was nervous. Like I was sweating and I wanted to pee my pants. But somehow I did not burp. I did not sneeze. I did not do anything. You know, like sometimes people do that.
So you were confident.
Yeah.
In that moment, yeah. And then afterwards I was like, oh my God. Like, but
I think that's an important thing for an artist of any type to have.
For
not just confidence, but like more specifically knowing that you deserve to be in this situation, because a lot of people, even really famous people, still will have this like imposter syndrome where they feel like I don't even deserve to be in this position. But I think there are times when you got to sit back and be like, you know what? I worked pretty hard for this. Like I deserve to be here right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay. So they liked that one. Like, did they talk to you a little bit, or did they just basically be like, all right, you're going on, see ya?
It's not like, I don't know if you guys have seen, like America's Got Talent has this button that they press if someone gets the golden
it's like
buzzer,
super
you know?
dramatic, yeah.
Yeah, and like that doesn't, there's no chance of that happening on American Idol or whatever. So if they really like it, like it's still super awkward when they say like you're going to Hollywood. It's like, oh, okay, like
there's no music that plays like it's on the TV.
They add it in.
What's funny is like with so many things, as an editor, I know that a lot of the shows and stuff, they'll add in like these effects and music and like hype
clapping
stuff.
And stuff like that.
But like in reality, it's probably just like, all right, congrats. And there's just like a quiet room.
And they're like, act excited, Kazmyn.
Yeah, there's like 20 or 30 other people in there behind the scenes, like holding up the lights and all the mics, but you don't see that. So it was definitely a weird moment. Yeah.
Just like the 20, 30 people we have set up in our studio.
Yeah, like all these other employees that I've
Jeff
hired.
up here.
Yeah. So when was your first time on TV? Like when did you get on TV on the show? Like at what point in the process?
Yeah, was I actually on the TV?
Guess, well, first of all, how far did you make it in the show? And like how many rounds deep was that after you've like made it to Hollywood or whatever? Like how many rounds were you in it?
So I count the first one with the judges as a round. And then I went to Hollywood and that week there's 3 auditions and I did all 3 of those. So 4 auditions total with the judges.
Okay.
And that I made it to like the top 70 or 69, but you know. We just say 70. I want to say 50 or 40 because they went to Hawaii, which we found out the next day. And I had met a ton of people, gotten close with a ton of them. And then they moved on. They weren't in my room because I was in a room when I got eliminated, which was like, that's the only room round, you know, like the famous one you see on the show. And it's like you look around and you're like, did he do good? Did she do good? Like, I think I did good. Like, yeah, we're totally going through. And then the judge comes down. He's like, you already beat so many people, but you're going home. I'm like,
You're like,
No.
what the? That's a little bit confusing. But yeah, so 4
Dang.
rounds.
that's a weird delivery.
Yeah.
Dang, so you were top 70.
Yes.
That's impressive.
That is crazy.
I like thinking it, but it doesn't really mean anything if they don't show you, you know, which like
Yeah,
we'll
so
get to
were you
that.
on, like, did you get on, like, airtime at all? Like, did they show any of your auditions or anything?
They unfortunately did not play any of my auditions
Whoa.
or me. I think the only thing that I
That's
said
dumb.
on the show was I brought my cough spray or something because or my throat spray because everybody had their own like way of keeping healthy that week.
Yeah.
But
That was your, like, 3 seconds of fame.
yeah, this is the crazy part. So okay, there's 190 people who went to Hollywood Week that got free travel and all of
Yeah.
that, free hotel, free food, whatever. And if you got out, you got sent home the next day and all of that. So anyways, before that, the first round of judges, I was in Idaho, and that was also not a free trip because they don't know if you're going to make it or not, you know. The day that I made it, you have to stay up till like midnight doing this quiz to see if you're like sane. And if you don't answer the questions right, I guess
Wait, what?
you're not. Like
Wait,
they
so
have,
you're, like, in your hotel room, and they give you, like, a quiz.
you're actually going like, what is it called? Like, you know, when they have places on set that they set up for people to be in, like boxes, like,
yeah,
the,
like-
you know, what is it called?
It's like
Like,
are you talking like a voting booth type
It's like
thing?
kind of,
like a
I
little
don't know.
cubicle, like,
Yeah.
isolated
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, why don't we know it? Like, it was in my elementary school. But either way, I went there and took like this 300 question quiz for like 2 hours or something.
Oh my god, just
And-
to test your, like, mental state.
I don't even remember the questions, but I just remember being so mad that I had to like answer them. Like, I can't even, I just, you know, I'm pretty sure people who are on any show have to do something like that.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it was at the end, like midnight, when I finally finished everything in papers. And I also had to talk to I don't know if it was, a private investigator. This is so funny.
Wait, what?
You feel like you're already famous when you get past the first round because you're like, they have to ask you a bunch of questions about your social media, make sure you know that they could access anything that you've ever put on the internet.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm all good. Like, this is fine, whatever. And then I'm about to go to bed, and my dad and me are like walking out, and they're like, oh, we actually want to film you doing some stuff with your golden ticket tomorrow morning for like, what is it called? B-roll, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
and they only chose like me and one other guy, maybe another girl from Idaho to actually do that B-roll like that morning. I was like, oh, well, I'm totally going to be on TV. And the next morning for like an hour and a half, they filmed me walking down like this bridge with my golden ticket and like
Just walking with
doing
it?
a bunch of weird stuff. Yeah. And like holding my dad's hand and walking down and like looking, like they told me like walk. And then in the middle of the bridge, put the golden ticket up to the light and then smile. And I did it.
That's
And they were
so
like,
funny.
they're like, make it look more real. I'm like, what
does that
Why would I
mean?
ever
I'm not
do
an
this?
And then I had to give them back the golden ticket. So, you know, it was just like, and everyone was really nice. And I had a great experience with the like producers and all of that. But it was still like, it made me feel like I was going to definitely be on the show, when in reality, all of that footage is just somewhere and I'll never see it.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine, because they have so many different things nationwide and so many different, like, they probably use like 1% of the footage that they actually film.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
They're always filming. So like, I just wish that they could give it to the people.
Yeah, that'd be a cool way, like, if you could get access to the clips that had you in it or something. But like,
yeah, that's
know how
like
they
you
would
play
do
in
it.
like sports tournaments and like youth tournaments, and they like send you the photos of yourself.
yeah.
If they can do that, I'm
But
sure
when
American
there's
Idol can do
millions and
it.
millions of people, it's probably
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it was a big
Dang.
bummer.
So, okay, when you got eliminated, did your heart sink? Were you depressed? Were you sad? I assume.
Yeah, so it's funny because I am in the shot of them like telling us that we're going home and stuff, and I was with like a bunch of other minors, like kids under 18 or whatever, because we were all together like the whole week in school and stuff like that. So when we all found out we were in the elimination room, I was like smiling because I thought he was lying, because Lionel Richie's the one who said it, and he sounded so like peppy when he was like, you guys beat so many people in this world. I was like, yeah, we did. I'm like, my dad is gonna be so proud of me. And then then he's like, oh, but you're gonna be going home. And I felt so deflated. Like, I can't hide my emotions ever, but for some reason you can't see it anywhere on the film. But as soon as it turned off, I was the last one crying. And then I called my parent, or my mom and my sister and brother on the phone when we were in our bus going to our hotel, because we had to go to another hotel like that night, and not stay at the hotel they wanted. They wanted like the people who made it to stay in. It was really weird.
You got demoted.
Yeah,
Dang.
but they still paid for the the loser
Can you imagine
hotel.
if they didn't? Like, they made you pay
They're
for
like,
it. You're
all
like,
right,
what?
you guys are cut. Good luck.
This was a one-way
you
trip.
have to find a way to get home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would have been awful. But
Wait, so they had like all the minors kind of like be like a big group.
yeah, it was
Just so
really
you guys
cool.
were,
We
like-
had a teacher, and we had to have a certain amount of hours of school a day or whatever.
Oh, what the heck?
But
Oh, so like a
you had,
school
like,
teacher,
legit
not like a
school
vocal coach.
you just did your own homework, because we were missing a week of school, because it was like it was
Yeah.
school time, whatever
Yeah.
season. So we didn't learn anything necessarily, but he was a great teacher. His name was Frankie. I also
Yo,
follow him on
shout out
Instagram.
Shout out to
Frankie.
Frankie.
Shout out.
Your teacher for like a day or like
Like,
a
A
week.
week.
He was a week, yeah, and we went to like Starbucks as a whole group, and like it was just fun. We'd just go on little trips, because all the adults, like if I audition now, since I'm 18, I would have to stay up till like 2 a.m. filming, and be up at like 5 a.m. when they're they even needed us to be all ready by breakfast so that they could get videos of us during breakfast, like talking to each other. It was really weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Is that kind of like, do you feel paranoid when like you're always being filmed? There's always cameras around. Do you feel like you're going to do something dumb and then they're going to use it?
Definitely.
Like
Like
picking your nose
Or
something?
like trip or something?
well, I remember when I first met all the kids that I knew I wanted to sing with, if we made it to the group round, we were all sitting around in like this main room in the theater where we were doing all the filming. And we decided to play a game of like, oh my gosh, I don't know. It's just a dumb game talking about things we've done, or never have I ever, or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were sharing some crazy stuff. And then there was a camera like right here, but turned off. But all of a sudden we thought maybe it was on. And we were like, if this is on TV, like this is not going to look
American
End
Idol
my career.
exposed.
yeah, you never knew when someone was filming, or like the conversations. But sometimes people would come up, like a producer would come up and be like, can you say that line again? And like, look like more involved, like look right at the person you're talking to. And we're like, oh, you are listening. Okay. Yeah, it was super weird and random.
That's strange.
I mean, there are times when you're watching the show, at least I can tell, like, that's not real.
Like that's not how people
Yeah,
act.
people don't say that.
Yeah.
You know?
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
How would you rate your like overall experience on American Idol when it comes to like it being real versus like reality TV?
I don't really know where to put it on a scale,
Okay,
you know,
okay, yeah.
but I only made it to the top 70, partially, I think, because the producers behind the camera would tell me to talk about something else, or like, oh, you don't have a good relationship with this person? Talk about that. And I was like, well, actually, I want to talk about how I moved away from my childhood home. And it's like, oh, that's great, but they don't want to hear.
They want like the drama.
Yeah, they want the juicy stuff.
Oh, you think that's part of the reason why you didn't make it through? Because you weren't like you weren't like the type that they wanted? Something?
I mean, and they would say like, after I got the golden ticket, you have to run into this room and like jump around and be like, yeah. And this next season too, like I just watched it and a lot of people were like over dramatizing it a ton and like doing their fist in the air and all this stuff. Like I just couldn't do it. It was like 10 o'clock at night. It was 4 hours after I had done my audition. It's like, there was so much, I mean, and that is just TV. I should have been ready for it and I wasn't. And I just wanted to be myself and sometimes be tired and be honest. But those shows are not really built on that, you know, so.
Wow. Well, do you still like, are you in contact with any of the people that were other performers there? Like, are you friends with any of them? Do you listen to any of their music? Do any of them
Not
release
friends
anything?
with any of them.
I hate them all.
Rue them, no. But I am friends with them, a lot of them. I mean, I can't even name everybody that I met. And a lot of them, too, like, some of them I'm not friends with, but I do follow them and support them and stuff. But I did a music live stream festival thing a few months ago, I guess, at this point, and Matt was on it. Yeah. But a lot of the people that I met through the show were on that live stream. And I also last summer went on a trip and met with four other people that I was in. Three of them I was in the group round with. One of them I just met along the way. But we went on a trip for a week and just all hung out and sang. We didn't even write a song, which sucks. We should have done that. But I want to stay close with them, and I want to continue to have those connections so that I can travel wherever they are, visit that place, and also make music with them. And a lot of them have had like a lot more experience in the music industry than me, and have like parents in the music industry or stuff like that. And so it really does help. And I'm super thankful that I am really close with a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the ultimate like dream for you? Is it, I mean, I would assume, is it to be like a singer, musician? Because I don't know. I feel like some people, like how old were you when you were on the show? Like,
I was 16, 17.
Yeah. So I feel like at that age, I don't know, some people might not even know if like it's like a full-blown career goal or if it's more just like a fun thing. But like, where are you at right now? Like, is that the dream?
It's a hard question because I think about it all the time. And if I didn't do the show, then I would still be really unsure, I think, of, you know, what I could really do and how far I could really go with my music. But because of that, because of the confidence it gave me and like what it taught me and the connections and stuff, that's what started me doing like playing at cafes and all of that, playing at small venues. And I really don't know if I would have continued to try to pursue like playing and gigging if I wasn't on that. So my dream, this is what I've been telling my family, and I want to be able to do music enough to where I could make a living off of it, but I don't really know necessarily, like, I don't want to say, you know, I want to be famous or I don't want to be famous, blah, 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 but I don't need to be. Like, that's, I don't think that should ever be someone's main, like,
goal, that's how I feel about like music for myself.
Yeah, but
like,
I want to make a living.
I want to make a living. Yeah, that doesn't mean you necessarily like need to get rich off of it, but like you just want to do your best with it. But
I don't know how that will come, but
speaking of dreams, you have a song called Chasing the Dream.
Yes.
Yeah, so is that the only like finished official single that you've put out? Is that like the first one that's public on like all the platforms and everything?
I mean, I have acoustic versions of like a song or two on SoundCloud, but I feel the best about Chasing the Dream. And it's also not like a ton of my other songs, and I know that I have better vocals now than I did when I recorded that. So I really needed something out there, and I went on a trip and hung out with my friend Peter Saputo, who makes his own music. He just came out with like an EP, and
he's super dope.
Yeah, he's really awesome. So he helped me record that, and then my friend Cade helped me produce it, and then I got it out. Yeah, it was, I mean, I'm super thankful that I have those people, but I don't expect people to help me for, you know, little to no money with everything. And that goes into how did I do that? No money? That's our other song.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so Matt has a song. It's your song, right?
Well, I think it's all three of our song, but like, like last summer, me and Brendan, who's another rapper I work with a lot, wanted to make a song with Kazmyn, and we wanted Kazmyn to actually rap and spit some bars, and she did it.
I don't know about
she
that.
Did it.
It's a cool vibe. Like I messaged you guys about it when I first heard it. It gave me like a lot of Hobo Johnson vibes, and a lot of people talk a lot of shit about Hobo Johnson and say he's like super cringy, but I love that style of music.
Unique,
It's just super unique and like authentic.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I loved the style of that song where it felt really like raw, you know?
Yeah. I love No Money. And even though I know I could do better in the rapping department, I like that you say that it has Hobo Johnson vibes. I actually really like Hobo Johnson, and my family does too. But I would love to do a song with Hobo Johnson. And I've emailed him, so I don't know what's going on.
Just once?
Oh, no.
Oh, a lot of times.
Do you know that you can resend an email, like the same email, And I really crafted it to be like super authentic and not like professional, which maybe was the wrong approach, but I've been resending it.
I feel like you would like that.
Yeah, right?
Hobo
So
Johnson.
Maybe he wants you to like, maybe he doesn't like that it's the same email. He's like, I want some creativity.
Yeah.
I want her to send a different email every time.
I could, I can be annoying. I don't want to be, but no, I went to his concert, and this is like just off base, but my dad, he brought his girlfriend, and they were dancing to the music and stuff, and like making it romantic. I was like, I don't think this is what Hobo Johnson like was intending.
I feel like it's really hard to dance to.
I
his
don't
songs.
even know. Don't even. It was
so
an
funny.
experience, guys. But that's what I want for no money one day. So that's how it connects.
Yeah.
Wait,
okay.
you want people dancing to it?
You
Yeah.
Want parents
I want
dancing?
people romanticizing no money.
Yeah.
Like, we have no money, and we're proud, and we're happy.
Yeah.
Heck
So what's it like releasing, your first, I guess, official single and everything? Like, because I mean, if it's your first one ever, in a way, you're like a new artist, I guess, even though you've been singing for a while. But like, was that weird to put it out to the public, and like now it's like legit, like this is my song, it's out there? Was that weird, or was it cool, or what?
It was, I mean, I was kind of like by myself, I guess. Obviously, one day I would like to have like maybe a group of people, or just like some people to help me navigate how to put out a song, But that was like its own adventure, because I didn't know that, on certain like platforms, whatever, that you put your music out on, you don't know when it's going to come out. So I accidentally set it up to not know when it was going to actually release. And I told people I had a song coming out, and I had like a bunch of like people help me work on it, and a ton of people listened to it and like help me promote it. But then they would just say like, Kazmyn has a song coming out, and it's like, when?
Yeah.
And I felt so awkward. But once it came out, I was like, this is great. I'm happy about it. I like decided the picture that I wanted it to be, and people actually liked it, and it wasn't like super cringy, because apparently album covers can be cringy. And my sister was like, she was just telling me nothing looked good, and then eventually I'm like, I give up. It's just a picture of me, whatever.
Yeah. It's hard to go wrong if you just put a picture of yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Come on. But no, it could have gotten a few more streams. So after this, if anyone wants to listen.
Yeah, where can they find it? How do you say your last name?
My last name is Zercher, Zercher.
Okay, wait. So
Are you're just under Kazmyn though? Like that's your
Yeah.
artist name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Just
but
Kazmyn.
like I mean, I'm on everything. Like if you probably looked up like Kazmyn Zercher, you're gonna find the same Kazmyn, you know. But yeah, I'm trying to just have my first name because it's difficult enough.
And it's like it's super artsy now, because it's like, I'm just
Kazmyn. Yeah.
I don't have a last name. I'm just Kazmyn.
Exactly.
So it's Kazmyn.
Yes.
Right? All right. So everybody, go stream it. It's really good.
Go stream Chasing the Dream.
It's somewhere in my playlist of my 700 favorite songs.
Hey.
That is what matters.
So Chasing the Dream was your first single, and you said you have 12 songs that are
written.
At least written.
Written, like, you know how there's a format for songs like verse, chorus, there's a pre-chorus, chorus, verse, bridge, whatever. I'm kind of veering away from like that for some of my songs, just because, I mean, I hear so many people really trying to like fit that format that they lose like the meaning and all of that. So
you just said screw song structure.
I'm like, whatever.
Wait, talk to me about that. So because every once in a while I'll hear a song where it's like, oh, that was weird, it was just one long verse or something, or like, I don't know. Do you have? I'm sure there's examples of other.
You know what song was originally just one verse? What's Poppin'? And then Cole Bennett, the like video guy, told him you have to have a hook in the song for me to do a video. So he took the first like 4 bars, which is the What's Poppin' like hook, and then just put it at the end. So it was just like one long like rap song basically.
Dang, so Cole Bennett was the one who made him.
Yeah, I think he should get like a writer's credit on the song for that.
That's interesting.
But yeah,
I don't know though. I think that's kind of cool because
it's like super unique.
Yeah, it's something different. It'll catch your attention where it's like, oh, there's been no chorus in this whole song. It's been 4 minutes.
There's a lot of rap songs that do that, but like I don't know a lot of folk music, so like I don't know if that's like normal or if you're like trying to do something like super unique.
Yeah.
Or
I think I've heard like enough folk songs to know they don't necessarily follow a structure. Sometimes it's just a really long, or not even that long, but like a paragraph's worth of words or whatever, and then they just sing it over again with like more emphasis or whatever. So it really, I mean, it just depends on the message that you're trying to give. And if you really have something that you want to say multiple times, then add a chorus. But I mean, I've had a chorus, but like bridge, something like that, you know, you don't need it in every single song. That being said, like making Chasing the Dream with somebody who has made a lot of songs and who knows a lot about like the requirements of songs to get on good playlists and such, I didn't know it was that big of a deal, but apparently it's like, it has to be around 3 minutes and blah, blah, blah. And if it doesn't have like this big thing here, people will stop listening to it. That could be a preference thing. But I think most songs get on playlists when they're over a certain amount of minutes. Would you agree?
Yeah, I've seen that. But more recently, I've seen a lot of stuff like the chorus has to be in the beginning because of like TikTok and stuff like that. People want to just get straight to the point. Yeah. And that's more for like pop and like rap songs that are like more hype songs, I guess. But I don't really know as much about playlisting for like other genres. But
oh my gosh, TikTok, I don't know, did you guys talk about this in your last one?
We talked about TikTok a little bit.
I'm just like my whole family is on it, and they're like, you need to find a really good way to
your dad is on it, isn't
music. He? Yes. I don't know if that's unfortunately or fortunately, but everybody's on it. So I don't think my music's necessarily tailored for that, but you really don't know. Like, if I put a little bit of beats in there and stuff like that, like maybe, you know, it could work, but that's the dream, right? Like maybe, or is it not? I don't know for some people.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like at this point, it's like you want to get recognition any way you can.
It's like, why not? You know?
But I think Matt and I were kind of talking about last episode. It gets sketchy when you're intentionally altering your creativity in your music to fit TikTok. But if it's like you make the song you want to make and it happens to be like a good fit for TikTok for whatever reason, then like
there's nothing wrong with that.
I still think No Money could. We really need to
TikTok.
Get creative here, but
No Money would be so perfect.
Well, just help us out, guys.
No Money too.
Oh yes.
Well, at this point, I feel like it'd be a good time to kind of hop into some performances.
Oh my gosh.
So if you guys listening, kind of the thing that Matt and I have talked about and planned is I think every time we have a guest, as long as they're cool with it, have them perform something of theirs at the end. And for Kazmyn, we asked her like if she wanted to do some of her original stuff, and then also I think we're gonna try doing No Money, which is the song that Matt and Kazmyn did together.
Yes.
But there won't be Brendan's verse, obviously.
No, sorry, Brendan. You're not here.
I almost know it by heart, but I don't think I could give the same.
We need Brendan here for that.
But so we have a couple segments that we'll do at the very end of the episode.
Okay.
But right now we're gonna hop into. So what songs are you gonna be doing? Is it one? Is it more than one? What's it called?
I have a few, and if you guys want me to sing more after or whatever, we can do that. But I think that the one that I'm definitely going to be performing is called Honey Home. And I haven't performed it that many times, maybe once or twice. But it is about the farmhouse that I grew up on. And all around me, like the city was changing and places were being torn down. And then like 2 years ago when I was 16, it got torn down right before I did American Idol. And it was like pretty pivotal because I just grew up there and I had a lot of memories. And so I wrote a song about it. Yeah.
That's so like folky.
Exactly.
My house on a farm. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we're going to hop into it.
Okay. Should I just whenever?
Yeah, whenever.
Okay. I sing it in front of my mirror and I'm fine.
If you mess up, you can try to just keep it going.
You can just keep it going.
It'll be more real that way.
It's mostly the guitar because I've gotten better at it, but I don't want it to sound shitty on this, you know.
Okay.
So
it sounds
good. Make it sound good.
It sounds
you can
good.
Put in somebody else playing it. Okay. Woo! Yeah. Okay. This is Honey Home, guys. Okay. Staring out at the field I used to call my home. Honey tinted brush reeds roar like cantaloupe. Sun tints the growing trunks, trees swaying like a dance. An open mound of dirt and earth where our house once had a chance. Honey home, sweet house in the evergreens. Now you're just pictures and distant memories. Honey, hold out, visit you in my dreams tonight. A scenery change and it feels like the end. It's simply a house, memories only bend, and they fade but they stay in my mind. Hair turns gray, it was just a memory to me. Honey, home, sweet house in the evergreens. Now you're just pictures and distant memories. Honey, home, I'll visit you in my dreams tonight. Now I'm older, lived a little longer. I drive past the place where I grew up and where I grew much stronger. It doesn't really faze me the way it did before, 'cause it doesn't feel much like home to me anymore. Honey, home, sweet house in the evergreens. Now you're just pictures and distant memories. Honey, home, I'll visit you in my dreams tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's
let's
go.
go.
That was amazing.
That was really good.
That
Let's
was
go,
so
guys.
awesome.
Oh boy, it's
Wow.
like a whole new experience after this pandemic, you know, just performing for people.
I know. Wow. That makes
That was
me
really good though.
I just get so happy. I don't know. I'm so happy right now.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Thank you.
Wait, do you have more?
You know, I have other ones that I have stuff I've been working on that's not completely finished.
Mm-hmm.
But like sometimes the best ones, I just need time to like finish them. You know. I mean, if you want another one, I guess it can't hurt to like have some
I can't
music,
hurt. I mean,
some
you
footage,
can
right?
just play around with it.
Okay, well, yeah, sure. I can definitely play some other ones.
Yes.
Let's go.
My finger hurts,
go.
but
Yeah. Wait. So like, your finger
She's
hurts
playing
after
with her
that
nails,
song.
yeah.
So like, what happens when you play for like 3 hours? Do you ever like? Does your fingers bleed or like hurt really bad?
yeah, I know people who play like 5-hour gigs. Like maybe they're at a winery or something like that. There's a mosquito. Just ignore that, guys. And I can't even imagine. I just play like I played this morning. That's why my fingers are hurting.
Yeah.
No, it's. Yeah, I bet it can really kill some people.
Yeah, a lot of guys that play guitar, like on their right hand, they'll have like really long nails.
Yeah,
from
I've
playing,
seen
but
that.
yeah.
You know Mike Posner?
No,
He's a
probably
singer.
should, but no.
He's pretty famous, and he's also you ever heard of Mansions?
Okay.
It's a group with
Mhm.
Black Bear and him. That's
Oh,
their duo.
yeah.
His name's Mike Posner, but
Gotcha.
yeah, on his hand that he strums with, it's like
Super nasty.
super long nails, and there's always comments of people like, "Oh, dude, cut your nails," and I'm
It's like, that's
you
how he
guys
plays.
have no idea what those are for.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's pros and cons to having long nails.
Yeah. I don't play guitar, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, they're short and it works for me, but
Wait, is this centered? Is that good?
yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good to me as long as you
Okay.
guys can hear me. This is not necessarily a finished song, but I'm going to make it sound
This is the world premiere.
finished. Exactly. This song is, I'm just going to call it A Boy Last Summer for now, but follow me on Instagram at Kazmyn Z
Always plug.
to see to hear where this song is going to go and see where it's going to go. Because yeah.
Kazmyn Z.
Z.
Yes, if you just type in Kazmyn, it's probably the most.
It's probably the first one.
She's the most famous.
I mean,
Flex,
I
subtle
don't know.
flex.
I've met one other Kazmyn on Instagram, but anyways.
All right.
Yeah, A Boy Last Summer. Not actually last summer, just a song I wrote about a few summers ago. But
Okay.
yeah. I really liked a boy that I worked with last summer.
He was a little bit older than me, but who cares about numbers? First time we hung out, much anticipated. Drove down to a park, tried to find somewhere shaded. He pulled out his guitar, I'm a sucker for the music. He didn't get very far because I wouldn't sing along. It seemed too intimate for that kind of setting. Now that I look back, I realize I was sweating a lot. And we became more like good friends and never really lovers. And I know that he'll be around when nobody really bothers.
Yeah, we play it out a little bit more.
I've gotten coffee with him once since this all happened. He's traveled round the world and I've realized who I am. We became more like good friends and never really lovers. And I know that he'll be around when nobody really bothers. I know that he'll be around when nobody really bothers.
Hey.
Guys, I forgot the chords on the second verse, but just pretend I didn't, and it sounded great, right?
That was good.
That was
I really
awesome.
like
I'm just kidding.
like the storytelling in it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't know like the technical terms in like the music's world for this, but I like when there's songs that the lines are more like
Spaced out.
no, like it felt like you're actually talking to someone,
Yeah, it's
as
more
opposed to
direct.
like a very like formulated line, I get, or like formulated verse. It feels like you're like having a conversation
Like an
with someone.
Yeah.
I like that a
That's
lot.
dope. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't even know what line, but in a few of my songs, like there's something that could be like, I guess, a little bit funny. And if I sing it like a specific way when I'm at whatever gig, I just remember like the last gig I did with this organization called So Far, which is super cool. You should look into it. But everybody there it was a great audience. But when I like made that certain line, everybody like laughed or smirked or something, but like it was with me, not against me, obviously.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's just a great way, I think, to
it like engages the audience too.
and you can do that with rapping all the time, which is the only thing I can do in rapping, make it a joke so I'm not serious. But thank you.
Yeah, and it's cool because when there's a little bit of the humorous lines, it kind of catches people off guard a little bit. Like it's a really like emotional song, and then there's like a funny line. You're like, oh.
Yeah, like the sweating line. Like me and John were both laughing. That was funny.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Well, all right. Next up. All right, guys. Matt and Kazmyn are about to perform No Money featuring Brendan, who's not here, but I'm excited.
Yeah, shout out to Brendan. Make sure you stream this on Spotify. Yeah. Look. Yeah. Don't really know how I graduated. Lately I've been here trying to rap to make it. Look, I need to learn how to save cash. I'm praying to the Lord, trying to ask for patience. Look, come alive with an activation. Aiming for the top, I might have to take it. Time to acclimate it. Rap is faking, I've been baking. All these people trying to tell me that they have to hate it. Look, I just need to check. If you wanna diss me, then I'm coming for your neck. Teacher tried to fail me, but I never gave an F. I'm rapping in my class cause I wanna be the best. Look, I'm not trying to flex, trying to out-rap me, but I never was impressed. Me and Brennan went and bought a couple beats, but I had to buy some food, so now I'm in debt. I just need a little gas money. Pastor told me that I rap funny. Look, trying to come mess with our team, then I promise that you could get smacked, dummy. Make a difference, that's our call. If we don't make it, that's our fault. Lately been feeling like I peaked in middle school. Shout out to Chug and Narwhal, yeah.
I don't need no money. 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 I don't need no money.
What up? It's Kaz, and I know you think that I'm broke, but no, I'm not. I save money, but I spend it at the thrift shop. Old clothes, new looks. Jealous because of vintage, I'm a good cook. Why play a game? Spending all your money just to look the same. We got one life. Don't try, you might end up as a housewife. But baby, it's true. Cheap is a lifestyle. Did it choose you? I buy my coffee. Yeah, make danks for $1. Holy, ooh, it's good. Don't lie. I'm not trying to convert you to the cheap life, but it's here. You try? I promise if you like it, it's a small price. 1-800 hide my own damn wallet. That's what I say before I spend my money. And by the frickin' way, I'm a lifeguard. If you can't breathe one day, you know you have one free resuscitation pass. I'm all good Samaritan, but if you pass out thrifting, I'm done caring. And I'll leave in my BMW. It's broken, but me too. That's why I own it. LOL. That's all.
Hey,
fire.
Let's go.
You killed that. That was dope.
I love that song so much. It's so relatable.
Yeah, I guess.
Wow, that was awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're getting near the end of the episode here, but if you guys enjoyed their music, be sure to go stream No Money as well as Chasing the Dream, and that's what it's called, right?
Yes,
Chasing the Dream. And whenever, do you have a date that you might release a song, or are you're waiting? You're plotting?
I would say that by the end of the summer, I will be putting out like the dates of future releases and such. So definitely follow me on my Instagram, and then you'll be up to date on everything.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, real quick, one little thing, Matt and I, whenever there is a good underground drop of the week, Matt and I want to, kind of shout it out to help bring some attention to some underground artists who deserve some more recognition. So this week for the underground drop of the week, Matt and I both have one. I have Boy Don't Cry. It's an EP by this guy named Reese. And I found out about him because my old roommate, when I lived in Texas, they went to high school with him. And he's literally got it's crazy. He's got 3 or 5,000 followers on Instagram, yet he has 100,000 monthly listeners or something. So he's really developed a good fan base on Spotify.
That's crazy.
But yeah, just super chill music. I don't even know what category it is, honestly. I feel like it's hard. A lot of artists nowadays, I feel like a lot of people don't even have a certain genre
That's
they're
so
in.
cool though that they don't necessarily fit into one, but
yeah. So I don't really even know how to describe it, but he's just a super talented artist, and I just feel like he's a guy who I've been listening to him for a few years now, and I just feel like he's been super consistent. He's one of those guys where he's never making a lot of noise on social media. He's just kind of minds his business, does his thing. Not even a lot of features. It's just him and his music, and everything is just super authentic, and I recommend you guys check it out. It's Reese, Reece, and he has a ton of amazing songs, and his new EP Boy Don't Cry is really good, so check it out.
That's dope. So my underground drop of the week is we were talking about him earlier, but Levi Hinson dropped a single with 3 songs called Mango, and he's got the first song on it is called Spirit, and I remember a few months back he teased it on his Instagram, and then never ended up dropping it until now, but that's one of my gotta be my number 1 favorite song right now.
Yeah, that's the first one, right?
Yeah, Spirit. Yeah.
So it's super interesting because it's 4 minutes, and then there's 2 1-minute songs, which I feel like is a cool way to mix it up.
Yeah, he's always had I remember on the last episode we were talking about what would it be like for an artist to drop a 20-minute song. Yeah. He is one of the guys I was talking about that's done little alternative projects where he'll drop he has this song, it's called Years of Losing Myself, and I'm just gonna click. It's 31 minutes.
Oh
it's 31 minutes.
Wait, it's one song?
Yeah.
But it's a bunch of songs.
It's well, together. Yeah, kind of. It's really unique and abstract.
Yeah,
but,
I've noticed that even from his other projects. He had one a few months ago that I listened to. I forget what it's called, but
yeah, he has one called Laughing Crying, and then he dropped a few other EPs this year.
Yeah,
as well.
And I've noticed they're all just definitely experimental and unique, and I think it's cool that he's trying a bunch of different things. But yeah, I agree that it's called Spirit.
Yeah, that song is so fire.
One of my favorite songs currently.
And then the other 2 songs on it are super good too. They're just I think they're both just rap songs, like no chorus or anything like that. But I love his like production too. It's super unique.
Yeah. Does he mix and master everything himself?
I know he produces a lot of his own stuff, but I'm not sure if he mixes and masters. But shout out to Levi.
Yeah, for sure. Levi, we'd love to have you on the show sometime.
Yeah.
We've both been fans of your music for a while, so if you see this, hit us up.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Not a Sheep. This was super fun. Kazmyn, did you have fun?
I had so much fun.
She's like, no, don't come on
this show. I really did, guys. I really did.
No, I think we got to have you on again because there's honestly so much stuff that we could have talked about that we just didn't because, like, it's already been an hour 45. But, like, you know, I think I don't know. There's endless stuff to talk about when it comes to just art and being a musician. So we'd love to have you on again. But, guys, go follow her. Go follow Matt. Matt, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at matt.mog, matt.mogg, and then Twitter at matt_mog.
Yep. You guys can follow me at Hey Narwhal on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Ooh.
Also, the biggest thing here, we have a second podcast under the For Our Productions family called Peak to Middle School. Matt's been on it a lot. It's been around longer than this show. We take it really seriously. So if you guys want a comedy show, something a lot more laid back than this, go check it out. This is our recording studio. We spent a lot of time on it, so it'd mean a lot if you checked it out. And leave a review on this show on the Apple Podcast app. It takes like 15 seconds, and it helps us out way more than you think. So
yeah,
with
do that.
With all that being said, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.